Howdy yo, this is Gary and you have made it to the Get Going Fast page. Today I'm going to be your male stewardess on this flight across the lands of AI as we look into some face swapping software that I think you're going to be happy to know that we have put together for you. I will not be providing snacks or a drink. You need to get those yourself, but I will be providing step-by-step installation. Of course, we're going to go through every part of this installation. So very good stuff. We're going to be looking again, as I mentioned, over here at, oh good Lord, over here at Reactor. Okay, so Reactor, of course, is well known for its face swapping abilities, works with ComfyUI. If you've been paying attention at all, this has been removed off of GitHub. So difficult to get it nowadays. But I care for you. I've gone out, we have found the new repository for this, and we have set it up for you so you can just get it and download it, install it, or you can go through this video and we're just going to tap our way to through the installation. So yo, all right, but before we do that, thank you so much for liking and subscribing to the channel, sharing the video. When the mailman comes, say, hey, good day to you, and sir, I have some mail for you, and then hand them a little flyer that you made about Get Going Fast. I'm sure that you'll very much appreciate that, because I appreciate that. So again, thank you so much for being part of this and spreading the word. It's exciting stuff that's going on. And, you know, I could ramble on forever, but let's move on here. Just saying that if you do appreciate what you're learning here, you can always get me a super sticker here on YouTube. That helps put a couple bucks in my pocket, buys me a cheeseburger and a Coke to keep me down the road, because we do this full time, and it's exciting. It's an exciting hobby. AI is an excellent hobby. Thank you for being a part of it. Let's get to the yoing. Yo. Okay, so we're going to be doing this in ComfyUI, and if you don't have your ComfyUI installed, you need to get it installed. There's a couple ways that you can do it. We're going to work through the manual installation on this one. The portable installation, of course, as I've mentioned before, is very easy to set up. You just got to extract and do it, but it makes the installation of different stuff a little bit more difficult, or it's just a little bit more complicated. It's like having a nice car that's made overseas and it's got all these computer components and stuff, but you got to take it in to get it worked on. We like the manual installations because we can just pull it right into our own garage, and we got our own tool set. We're going to be able to do stuff. So it's not that it's unable to do it. It's just it's a little bit more steps. So we'll talk about it, but we're going to walk through the manual installation on this one. So if you do not have the manual installation set up, you should just go ahead and do it. You can head over here to the Patreon site, and this is at patreon.com cognibuild. I want to let you know we've also got a new website here. It's called getgoingfast.pro. Okay, and it's going to take you to the same place. It's going to take you to the same page. But from here, you can actually scroll down, do a search, and you can find that we have a manual installation that that you can use. Okay, so that will make it very easy to get your manual stuff going. Otherwise, you can get the portable, and it'll work too. So let's get to the getting though. So first thing we need to do, assuming that we've already got our ComfyUI installation done, and like I said, I'm going to be using a manual installation here, but the ideas are going to stay the same. First thing we need to do is we need to head back over to the browser, and we got to find the repository. The repository, of course, being where the files are kept. So let's get over to our browser, and let's just do a search here. And we're going to actually be going someplace other than GitHub, because GitHub has removed this. So there's starting to be a move against things, face swapping stuff, because of the concern about deep fakes and all that kind of stuff. So GitHub has actually removed this. So we have to go, we're going to a new place called Codeberg. So we're going to go ahead and type in the words Reactor Faceswap and then we're going to type in Codeberg. Okay, and you're going to see it actually comes up here, and it looks like this guy's name is Yorif or something like that. I'm assuming that's how his name is pronounced. And we're just going to look at, he's got one on GitHub, but we don't want to go that one. We want the Codeberg. So notice it's not coming up. So let's do this instead. Let's just type in Codeberg. And it's going to bring up codeberg.org. So we're going to click there. Now, if you don't have a page, you have to create a page. So you can go ahead and sign in. Okay, sign in with your GitHub. If you already have a GitHub, which you should, you can just sign in that way. Okay. Oh, look at that. I'm not even on the screen there. Did you miss me while I was gone? I'm back here. So you get in here. Now what we're going to do, we're going to search the repos, and what we're going to do is we're going to type in Reactor. Okay. So this is a new thing that they've come up with. Okay, so it's not finding it there. So we need to search over here. We got to click on the Explore button, and then it's going to bring this up. Then from here we can go Reactor. Okay. And you're going to see there it is. Okay, so there's Yorif. There's his ComfyUI Reactor nodes. So now we can clickety-clack on that, and that's going to bring us over to where we were. Okay, so a little bit different. We're moving off of GitHub. I know it's a little bit scary. It's okay. It's going to be fine. We're going to move on to Codeberg. So we're going to scroll down here. You can notice it's based on the blocked reactor. So even when you get into ComfyUI, trying to download the nodes, they'll have a nerfed version if it works. Okay, but this is the full thing here. So you can do whatever you want, swimsuits, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Do whatever you want. I'm sure you can come up with some idea how to use this. So what we're going to do is scroll down here, and we're going to get down to where the installation is. Now, they've got two different types of installation. So one is for SD Web UI, which is the automatic 111 or SD.next. Okay. That's actually not a bad thing to do. Maybe we'll do that in another video, but we're going to go ahead and work with the ComfyUI. And notice it does say it's for the portable. We're going to do it a little bit different. So we're just going to click here, and pretty much everything we need is right here. Let me take a quick look just to make sure. Yes, it is all here. All right. So notice it says you need to have your Visual Studio installed. This is 2022. Don't do it. Go ahead, get the installer from the Patreon site. That's going to have, I have a system installer over there that will get you the 2019 build tools that you need. Okay. This is what you're actually going to need, your build tools. You don't need this stuff. It will all install it for you. Okay. If your system should be set up correctly, if it's not set up correctly, then it doesn't matter anyways. I guess go through this and you'll stumble through. But if you've been following my directions, you'll already have all this stuff on your system. Okay, that being said, so it says choose between two options. You got the ComfyUI Manager. Okay, so that just means loading up your ComfyUI, and let me actually load up a thing here. That means loading it up and just using the node manager. Now, the issue about using the node manager is, one, I'm not going to guarantee that it's going to work, and two is it is the nerfed, it's safe for work version. So if you're trying to put a gal in a swimsuit or you know, less, then it's going to block it. Okay, it ain't going to work. I've also never had success with the Reactor using that. So the manual is always the way that I'm going to tend to go. And let me show you what this looks like really quick. We'll let this load up. This is, well, that's loading. That's way number one, the ComfyUI Manager. Okay. Yeah, see if that's loaded up there. Yeah, you can see it loads up. This is the manager, so you can always go here, go to your, I think, yeah, to this one, and then you can just type in Reactor. Okay, but I'm not going to say that any of this is going to work. Okay. So anyway, that's not what we're doing. So I'm just showing you how you can do it. If you want to try it, that's on you. we're going to go ahead with this next one, the manual. So this one, let's just take a quick look. It says we're going to go to our ComfyUI directory, to our custom nodes folder, and we're going to git clone in the nodes. Okay, that's easy peasy. Okay, then we're going to have to go in here, and we're going to it's going to want us to run this install.bat. We're not going to do that. We're going to actually we'll look at it and we'll see kind of what it's doing, but we will actually not run it, and we're going to run a different file instead. Now I'm going to tell you, even if you are running the portable version, if you're running this thing here, it's going to fail. It doesn't work, okay? It doesn't work properly. Okay, there's a much easier way to get it. And then we'll go down to 4. It says, see, we got to download some models. Okay, so we're going to grab something, put it in this. We're going to have to create some directories. Got another one. We're going to have to create this directory as well. And I will tell you that there is another model that we'll download for upscaling that it doesn't mention, but that we'll have to get into the app to do. But let's just go ahead and get to the getting on with this. So we're going to pop over here to our folder where we've installed our ComfyUI. As you see, I have a manual one here. I just used this manual installer, the free thing that's from the site, and all I had to do was click that, and it ran through it all. You'll know if you have a portable one because there will be a folder called Python_embedded, okay? But so what we got to do is we'll go in here, and you're going to see that because we have our manual and we set up our manual correctly, we have a venv folder. So that, of course, is our virtual environment folder. So the key to what we're going to be doing, a lot of this is going to be to be activating that when we install our dependencies. And that's kind of the big difference. When you have your Python embedded, you have to go in here, and they have their own Python in there that they're going to use for your installations. And it's not extremely difficult. It's just that you have to deal with going back and forth on some folders. That can get confusing. But anyway, what we're going to do first is pop on over to our browser. And our browser here is going to say, it's going to say, git clone this bad mamma jamma here. So it wants us to go to our custom nodes folder and git clone this repository. That means all the files. This is how we're going to use our nodes. So when we're dealing with ComfyUI, let's move out of here. When we're dealing with ComfyUI, we're dealing with nodes, and all nodes is a series of Python codes that the Comfy thing turns into cool little draggable, movable thingamajobbers. So we have to install the code. Okay, so to do that, it says to go to the ComfyUI custom nodes folder. So let's pop back over to here, and we're just going to click ComfyUI. We're going to click custom nodes, and you should have this manager in here. Now, again, the free installation that I give, that comes with that. But if you have the portable, or you don't, or you do it yourself, you have to go find that online. Okay, but anyway, so what we're going to do is we're just going to go up here into our, we're going to get into our ComfyUI custom nodes. We're going to click up here. I'm just going to hit backspace and delete all of that. Okay, then I'm going to paste in what we just copied. Git clone ComfyUI Reactor node. Now we could do this through the terminal window, but we might as well just do it here in the File Explorer window, because why not? It works. So we're going to paste that in there, hit enter. Okay, and it will pop, you can't see it, but it will pop up a terminal window there for just a second. And then notice, well, there we go. Hey, it downloaded. If we go into here, you're going to see there's some files here. We'll come back to this in a second. But let's go back to our browser and figure out what it wants us to do next. Okay, so now it wants us to, we've downloaded this. It wants us to go into the folder, which we did, and it wants us to run this install.bat, which we are not going to do because in both the manual and the portable, it messes it up. It just doesn't work, okay? But particularly for the manual, we're going to go ahead and take a look at that file, but we're going to figure out kind of the backdoor way to do it. So let's head back to, let's head back over to our File Explorer. And what I'm going to do is go to where that install.bat is, and I'm going to just click edit, and I'm going to say edit in Notepad. Okay, and that's going to bring up a window that looks like this. Okay, so that's going to bring up this. Let me make it a little bit smaller for you. It's funny how this software just brings stuff up so big. But anyway, so basically we can take a look at what it's doing, and you can see here that it's this is where all that Python embedded stuff is that we're talking about with the portable. It is going through all this. We will skip through this, and you can see at the end here, okay, it's just running a file called install.py. Okay, so we can just skip all this, get down to the goods, which is install.py. So if we click back over to our file explorer, close this out, then you are going to see that, oh, well, there is an install.py. Okay, and we could do the same thing. We could look at it, but no need to. This is going to have to do with all of our dependencies and everything. So we need to make sure we're in the correct virtual environment, because if we click on this, or not click on it, if we run this and we're not in a virtual environment, then it's going to install everything to our base environment. Then we get into the issues of system pollution, and you don't want to get into the system pollution, because that's where we start having to talk about reloading Windows and all this stuff. Just makes it difficult. Better to do everything correctly. So what we are going to do is we're going to do this. We're going to go ahead and we're going to right click and then click on open in terminal. Okay, and that's going to open up a command prompt that looks like this. Okay, and we're going to be in the folder. So now I'm going to teach you a little trick, because we want to run this install.py, but we don't want to. We need to get all the way over here to this folder. We're in this folder right here. We need to access something that's in this folder. But if we get out of this folder and then in here, we've got to get back in there again. So what we're going to do is use a little trick called the dot dot. So what normally when we call our virtual environment, we would do something like this: call venv scripts dot activate. Okay, that's assuming that that's where the folder is. See, if we go back over to here, you'll see go back 1, go back 2. Well, there's our venv folder, and then under there's our scripts folder, and then there's our activate. Okay, so what we're going to do, instead of going all the way out, hold on a second, I lost my window. Here we go. What we're going to do is I'm going to put a dot dot, okay, and I'm going to put a slash, a forward slash. Is a forward slash because the top of it's leaning to the right. I'm going to put another dot dot, and then another forward slash. And what this is going to do is this says go back one folder. Then it says go back another folder, and then go to this directory. So in other words, you can already see we're in this folder. So that dot dot says go back to here. Then we put another dot, we say go back to here. And then it says from this folder, go into this folder, go into this folder, and then go to activate. So we're going to call this thing. It'd be the same as, we could put activate, or you could put activate.bat. It doesn't matter. Now notice we've all of a sudden got into our virtual environment. Hey, that's great news. Okay, that's good stuff. So now we can now go, and we want to run that install.py file that we found in the install.bat. So what we're going to do is we're going to just type Python, okay, because Python is our interpreter. So when things get wrote in a language, you have to have an interpreter that takes it, it recognizes the way that it's written, and it turns it into machine language that then the computer can speak. So we're going to go Python, and then we're going to go install.py. So that's the name of the file. When you have something that says py at the end, it gives you, that tells you it's a Python file. So Python's going to interpret install.py, and because we're in the virtual environment, it's not going to go into our base system. Okay, so it's going to go ahead and look, it's going to download files. We've got to get these NSwapper 128s and all this good stuff. So we'll just kind of sit on this for a second. They're not big files. Depending on your internet, it'll take a certain amount of time. We might pause it here for a second because it's going to install Torch. Torch is always a bit of a bigger one. We'll give it a second, see how it goes. I'll tell you what, while this is downloading, actually what we can do is we can save some time. Let's pop back over to our browser, and we'll see that that's going through the install. So the next instructions say that we need to download the YOLO face Ultralytics models. So it says we can download it from this folder and put it in the ComfyUI models Ultralytics B-box. Now I'm going to tell you straight off the bat, there is no Ultralytics B-box, so we're going to have to create it. So what we're going to do is let's go here where it says you can download the asset. Let's right click on it. Okay. It's going to bring us over to this page, and this is going to bring us back to Hugging Face. It says let's click this. We're just going to click you can download it. So let's click download. Okay, and let's do this so you can see what's going on here. Okay, it's going to ask us where we want to download it to. So we need to go to our ComfyUI folder. Okay, then we go to our models. Now notice there's nothing called Ultralytics here. So let's actually put this over here. Let's click the, no, that's not going to let us do that. So let's click on our, we're in the model, so let's right click. We're going to go new folder, and we're going to write Ultralytics. Okay. If we mess up the name of it, we can go back and fix it. And I believe that it was called B-box, wasn't it? We can go B-box. We can change it if we messed it up. So we're going to create B-box, and then we're going to go ahead and we've got our YOLO face. This is my YOLO face. Okay, but we're going to download the YOLO face for here, and look at that, was done in a second. It was like 49. So we can close this out, and let's see if we remembered that right. Yeah, Ultralytics B-box. Okay, we're doing great. Now we need, it says you can get one or both of these SAMS folders from here. So let's click, let's do the same thing, right click, go over to here, and it's going to need to be in our ComfyUI models SAMS directory. Again, you're going to have to create that. So we'll go here. Now, I'm going to just go ahead and grab the bigger one because it's just going to mean that it's more trained. I don't need a low quality one and a high quality one. I just want to deal with the high quality. There's going to be no point where I'm going to be like, well, I'll just get the crappier one. If your stuff's not running or you're having memory issues, try going for the smaller one. Okay, but if you can run the top one, there's no need to get them both. So same thing, I'm going to click here. Now notice it's going to bring me back up in where we were, Ultralytics B-box. I'm just going to go over here and click models. Now notice there's nothing called SAMS. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to right click, go to new folder, and I'm just going to write SAMS. I'm going to click into there, and I'm going to go save. Okay, you can see up here. So this one's bigger. It's 1.2 gigabytes. So it's going to take just a little bit longer. Okay. So let's go back to our browser. And same thing, we can close this out. Okay. And here we go. That looks like all we've got to do. Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you there is one thing they didn't mention that we'll get to here. A folder that we need. But we're done. So what we can do is check back over on our command prompt, see if we're done. Okay, it's still actually oh, here we go. All right, I clicked on the wrong damn thing. I'm going to close that out. So you can see we're done. Okay, so now we're actually ready to run this thing. So with my installation, I've got this. If we go over here to File Explorer, you see I've created a bat file that will actually go into the ComfyUI folder. It'll activate the virtual environment, and then it will run the folder. Okay, so if you get that free manual install, you'll have the same thing, and all you got to do is click it. If we're doing it from the command prompt, then what we need to do is we need to just get back to our ComfyUI folder. So we'll go cd ... Remember, that means go back one. So that's going to put us in the custom nodes, but we want to go another one, so we'll put another ... Notice we're in the ComfyUI. So now if I type dir, which means a directory, we're going to see that up here there's a file called main.py. That's what we need to run. But you always have to make sure that you're in your virtual environment, which we are. So in the future, you would just come here and you would type call then scripts activate. Okay. Then you type in your Python, what was it called? Main. Python main.py. Okay, so that's all the code. It's going to get interpreted, sent to Windows. Windows is going to work with it, going to send it to your browser, and there's going to be rejoicing throughout the land as we get to our reactor. So notice it brings up here. So let's hold down our control button, click that bad boy. Yo. Okay, we'll click onto our browser, and it'll take a little bit of time to load up. So this is a good time to twiddle your thumbs. If you've gotten out of the practice of twiddling your thumbs, it's a good time to practice. Let me make sure that we can see the whole screen here. And always, this stuff always takes a little bit longer the first time you load it because it's got to load up a bunch of models and kind of does some first part stuff. So we're just waiting for this to load. I'll pause it and we'll come back when it's done. It should just take a few seconds. Actually, I want to show you what's going on here. So actually what's happening is it's downloading. Get this guy's ugly face out of here. It's actually downloading some models that we needed, okay? So you can see there's a percentage. So that's why it's taking a bit of time. So depending on your internet speed, you could sit for a while. You could sit for, I mean, I got a fast internet speed. It's taking this long to get these down. Okay, now we can pop back over to here, and there it is. Now, the first time you run it, it comes up with this, your basic workflow. Okay, now I'm going to assume you've already got your stuff going, so you don't need to do this. But what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and we need to get a workflow for this. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. So if you have downloaded the quick installer for this from the Patreon site over here, okay, it does everything that we did. You just click it and it does it all. You're going to have in there a workflow pre-made. So what we're going to do is click on workflow. We're going to click open, and then you're going to find in your folder that there is a folder called workflows, and we just click on it, and it's going to bring up this, okay? And we're going to be actually ready to go. This has everything that we need in it, okay? So from here, we'll be able to do our images and everything. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and actually recreate this so that I can show you how to do it yourself as well. So actually, before I show you how to do it, let's show you what it does. So we've got our load image here. We're just going to go ahead and click our upload, and we can find an image, add it in like that. Then we can go down here to our next image. It's going to be the one that we're going to swap in. Okay, so I'm actually going to put his face on this image, and you're going to see here that the image here flows up into here, this input image, the source flows up into there, and then these both go out. This goes over here to a preview image. This thing's going to keep it the same size. It's really as simple as just these 4 nodes here, okay? This is going to keep it the main size, but then we've got an upscaler up here as well, okay? And it's going to flow over to this and then bring it down, and it's actually going to upscale it to a larger size. Okay, but I'm going to show you something here. We're going to go ahead and run this. I'm going to hit Control Enter. Now, notice up here, this turned red. It's still going to work, but notice it's turned red. That's because the upscaler up here is looking for a model that does not exist. So it says 4K ultra sharp.ph. So let's actually really quickly, or 4x, let's really quickly type that in at the top, and then let's go ahead and copy it. But notice if I click on this, there's nothing there. If I click, it's going to go to undefined. That's because it actually hasn't been downloaded. Okay, so what we're going to do, you see that's penny. This is taking a little bit of time because I'm running all my AI software over here. So what we're going to do though, there it is. Actually, there it finished up real quick. Let's just take a quick look. And you can see it put Arnold's face on my face. Okay, but that's going to be the same size. That's input in, same size. So really quickly, let's go ahead and get this model downloaded. So what we're going to do is click up here. Let's open a new tab, and we're just going to paste the name of that into the top. Okay, and it's going to bring up this Hugging Face page here. So let's just go ahead and click on it. Okay, same thing as before. We're just going to click download. This time what we're going to do though is we're going to download it to this file called upscale models. Okay, so we'll just click it there and that will be done. That's really fast how fast that goes. So let's go ahead and get back to our browser. Now if we go back over to our workflow that we have going, you can see it worked without it, but it'll work now that we get it. So now what we would do is we would just click up on our manager and we would just say restart. So let's click the restart button. She's going to say confirm. There's up here, it says reconnecting. If you haven't installed the video manager, then all you got to do is close down the server and restart it. Okay, but now this is green's back up, so let's hit the refresh button. It's going to bring it up the way that it was. Now if I go click on my model names, you're going to see it's there. Okay, so everything is already set. If these things cause error, just click on them to make sure they're there. They should be fine. Look, you got a bunch of different yellow models and stuff you can play around with. These things, the GF pin, these are some of these upscale stuff. You can play with these higher things, but they just make the picture look goofy, I think. So just stick with the 1.4. But let's go ahead and hit Q again. So it's going to take a little bit of time again because I'm running the stuff in the back. But now, let's look at now it's upscaling, and it's going to do this. So let's go ahead and I'm going to right click on this and go open image. Okay, there's the image. That's great. That comes out real good. Now let's look at this one, how this one did. Open image. Looks even bigger. Okay, now I will tell you that did a pretty good job. A lot of times you get some goofy looking stuff. Let's look at some of this other stuff that I've done. Put some chick's face on Arnold there. You get some goofy looking stuff that you don't want. So just be careful with the upscaler. But that is nice. That one turned out good. The basic rule with AI is garbage in, garbage out. If you put a crappy picture in, you're going to get a crappy picture out, okay? Let me make this smaller so you see. But that's how this works. This is your basic workflow, okay? And I'm going to show you how to build this so that you can start doing some other stuff as well. Also, you can go and look for different Reactor workflows out there. A lot of people have big elaborate ones, you know, like we work with LTX, and man, those things get so big. Like you do the same with this. Get more and more elaborate, and at some point get video and all this kind of stuff. This is really images right here, what we're working with. Again, I think Rope is probably the best software there is for face swapping. But if you're wanting stuff in your ComfyUI workflow, this is it. And all you need is these three things here. Okay, you don't even have to upscale it. But let's go ahead and rebuild this now. So here's what we're going to do. To rebuild this, we're just going to go to, let's say you didn't have this one. We're going to click workflow new, and it's going to bring up a blank thing here. Okay, so what we do when you're adding nodes is you right click and we're going to go node. And the first thing we want to do is we want to click image, and we want to click load image. Okay, and this will bring up your load image thing. Now let's go ahead, and we need to do another image. So let's go image, load image. So there's a second one. Okay, so one of them is going to be source, one is going to be the other, and I'll show you how we can mix it up. Now this is where our Reactor nodes come in. Okay, so this stuff you can get regardless of if we've installed the Reactor. But notice I'm going to go to add nodes, and over here it's going to say Reactor. Okay, so this is where I'm going to click, okay, and I'm going to be able to get my nodes. So I want to look for something that's called Reactor Faceswap. Okay, so I'm going to click this. Now notice they got different options. You get to play around with this. This is what's great about ComfyUI. It's kind of confusing at first, but it's you get used to it. So look, we've got an input image and the source image. So let's say this is the image that we're going to put the face on. This is the image we're going to get the face from. If I wanted to switch them up, I could do that. I could say this is the one I was going to go to there, and this one's going to go to here, so I can switch it up. It's just wiring. Okay, so now This is where all the work done. Now we just need to get it out. So what we do is we go to add node, go to our image, and we'll just go preview image. Okay, easy. And we're just going to run this to here. So let's go ahead and run it and see how it works. Oh, now we're going to hit, there's going to be some errors. Oh, I guess not. Oh, here, we need the restore model. So we can click here where it says none. It let us do it anyways. And click that. If you get errors, you play around with this. But there, it went ahead and put my face on there. Let's switch it up again. The way we had it before, that one seemed to work a little bit better. But notice it's coming in, it came in at a small quality because that was a small image. So there we have it, okay? That's all you got to do. So that means if you've got workflows that are doing completely other stuff, but you want to do a quick face swap, all you got to do is grab this Reactor Faceswap. So we just add node, Reactor Faceswap, throw that in there, and then you throw your image in, you throw your image out, and then you get on with the rest of your workflow. Okay, that means essentially you could be doing this with LTX, you know, where you're putting an image in and then you do a quick face swap and then you shift it out to the animation stuff. Okay, Reactor is really cool like that. All right, it makes it really easy. But let's go ahead and add the upscaler. So what we're going to do is we're going to just right click and go add node. And what we're going to do is go back to our image and you're going to see there's one here called upscaling. So let's click that. And what we need to do is, oh, let's try our loaders. Let's go to image. Let's go add node, loaders. And then we need to find load upscale model. So here it is. Okay. So now we're going to put it here. This is where our 4K ultra sharp is going to be. You should be able to click it and see it. If you click it and nothing happens, it's not there. And then you can press the arrow. And if you don't have it, it'll say null. Okay, so now we need to get another box. So we're going to add node. This time what we're going to do is go to our image, upscaling, and we're going to click this one that says upscale image using a model. Okay, so they notice they've got upscale image, but they got the one using a model. This is the one we're going to use. So watch what's going to happen. We're going to, so we've got the image coming out to this endpoint. This is an endpoint, it dies here. But now what we're going to do is we're going to actually run this one over to here. And notice when I pull this, this highlights up, but these other ones don't. You can't connect it to wrong places. It'll only highlight if you can connect to it. So we're going to run this over to here, okay? And then we're going to say this one, now we're going to run this upscale model. We're going to run this over to here. It's going to connect there. Now we want to run it out to another preview image. So let's just go add node, image, preview image. Okay, same thing. Now let's connect her to there. Okay, so here's what we got going. We've got, this is the image that we're going to be working with. This is the face that we're going to take. We're going to put it in there. That's going to go there. It's going to do all its magic in here. It's going to kick out the smaller version, just the plain version of it here. And then the other one's going to click it out to here, and using this model, it's going to upscale it, and it's going to pop it out to here. So let's go ahead and click the Q again. And boom, there it is, okay? So now you don't have to have this. You could disconnect this, okay? If you just want to upscale. And then if you want to reconnect it, do that. If you don't want to use this part, just disconnect it, okay? So that, I think, let's see if that will, so actually what you'd have to do if you don't want to use these ones is you right click on it and just click bypass, okay? And you'd have to bypass all this. So you right click, bypass. And then you could go ahead and start popping your stuff out. And then if you want to get them back, just right click, bypass. So this is your real basic workflow. This is easy. And this has shown you how you can do stuff. Look at it again, under add node, if I go anywhere I want, add node, and I go down to Reactor, I got all this stuff that I can play with. There's models so that you can actually take a face, make a model off it so that you don't have to have an image every time. You just load the model. And I'm going to show you how you can recreate these really quick. So let's quickly go back to our directions over here. Okay, this is where we started. And let's see, how did I have this? I want to make sure. Okay, when you scroll down here, you're going to see that they've got some sample workflows. Now, this sample workflow here is for unloading your model. So like if you're finding that it's using too much VRAM or it's not releasing it, you can load this through here. Now, notice by looking at this, it's not doing anything. It's just image in, image out. Okay. So this is just a quick sample, but this is what they did. They threw in this unload reactor model. So if we were going to do something similar, we could go add node, go down to our reactor, and we could find our unload reactor node, and we could just put it somewhere here. So same thing. It would be like, basically what we're saying is, what this is doing is it's saying, create the image, then unload the model, and then throw it into there. Okay. So you could make that. Okay. But I'm going to scroll down here where it says previous versions. I'm going to click right here, and notice it's got a bunch of different stuff here, so you can just look at this and see what they're doing. Here's a face booster. So this one, this is loading the face model. So this is where we have over here, where I have another load image. What they have is a load face model. So it's the same thing. They just created a face model, but you could just recreate these by right-clicking and using things. So let's scroll down here. So here's your face masking is available. So here they're actually making their face models. Okay. So look down here and you can recreate it again. Let's see here. The bottom line that I'm trying to get you to show is that you can just kind of look at what they've done here and recreate it through your thing. So here's for making a batch of images. So all sorts of stuff you can do. And again, all you got to do is look at what they're done. Create now. Oh, check this one. This is what I was looking for. So this one here, this is where you're saving a face model. So look at, they're loading into here. It's they're creating a face off of these things. There's loading it into this face model, and then they're saving it into here. So that means in the future they don't have to do 2 load images. Okay, so they went ahead, it just imaged out, did all this, and they saved it. So then, and they named it, what did they name it? They named it Kira. Okay, so then in the future, when they're doing their stuff, we get up here, look at load face model. Here they have one named Masha. So you do the same thing. It'd be like taking that model of Kira that we made and putting it on there. So you don't always have to be downloading the model, or the uploading the picture. You get a bunch of these, and then you can do it that way. Okay, so Reactor, very powerful ComfyUI nodes, very functional for what you want to do it with. Again, Rope is just great if you want to get in there and just load your images, load your video, get it going. It's powerful. I really highly recommend Rope. But if you're working on your workflows in ComfyUI and you want to get stuff, this is big boy stuff here. Okay, this is this isn't just Lego blocks. This is, we're actually building stuff here. This is actually wiring and electricianing and technician stuff. This is powerful. And now you know how to do it. You get it in there, you install it, and you run it. Okay. Let me think here for just a second. And I think we're just going to call her good there. So again, if you're running this out of your portable version, it's a little bit different just in that, let me actually show you really quickly that over here in your File Explorer. Let me see if I actually have a portable version. Well, you'll have a Python embedded folder in here, and what you'll need to do is you'll need to run it out of where we installed the where we ran the Python install.py. You're going to have to get inside that Python embedded folder and use the Python that's inside of there. Okay, so again, a little bit more complicated, but hit me up. I might do another video on how to install it with the portable. But again, you can always get this stuff over on the Patreon site, and I've already pre-done the installations. All you got to do is download them, and just download this, extract it, and click it. And regardless if you got the portable or the manual, it will go ahead and install, and that's free for all the members there. So, all right, we're going to leave it there. Thank you guys for being part of this. This is so much fun, and I know you're learning, because I'm learning. Every time I do it, you learn it by osmosis. You just do it, and you do it, and it gets in your head over time. And then at night, you're lying in bed, you're going, Python pip install. Oh, yeah, Python embedded. Oh, you know, all this kind of stuff. So you guys enjoy, and we'll catch up with you the next time. If you have any questions, hit me up. I'm on the Discord. You're welcome to come join. You can find me on Reddit. You can find me on GitHub. You can find me on Hugging Space. You can find me on Instagram. Check out Instagram. I'm on Instagram. Come find me on Instagram. Come find me on X. It's under CogniBuild. Would love to see you in all those places. And till then, I'm going to wish you the very best and give you a good hearty yo.